It's May 6th, 2022. All right. So, when the real life ghost in the field has these like mega riche important actors somewhere in the garden of life at whatever parallel dimension that they are existing at. And then there's crossover events in order to come together for collaboration, for storyline, in whatever it is that they do, and I'm not up to speed. And then I'm sitting knowing that I've been harmed by this process. They did maybe meant to do it, maybe they didn't. I don't really know. But I don't want to keep perpetuating this witches and warlocks service in the wrong context. But now I'm watching they're doing publicity blitz. So they had the Ben guy, whatever the Doctor Strange actor is, on one side. And then now they've got same name though, some other guy Ben looks nothing like my son or my family lineage, playing a different character named Ben. So not to distract from their talent as actors and being picked for this movie. Not that I'm in the field like mad as hell that they got these roles. But in my position, I don't know how far in advance their careers were planned or thought out as a possibility based on how time and space works and based on how just horrific my life frame has actually been in this same galaxy that's broken. So I'm not here as a disgruntled employee. I'm not like a understudy who's really upset. I'm like the real deal that the facts are based upon, that at some point they have to have some kind of acknowledgement at super intelligence because they fucked up. Whoever they are. Tends to anger a few people. Oh fucking well. It's the way the world works. And here we are. So now there's a guy. So now they're doing the other side of Ben, not my son. And this guy now says that he's like an area manager. Well, here's the thing. In New York, in Empire State, Big Apple, Gotham, Marvel, in Tudio, or in the gods and polytheism, in a monotheistic way of knowing what's what and which end is up. Like the jig is up or the gig is up. Sounds the same to me at like Jason Bourne and like DJ whatever. DJ ends in MJ, right? Yeah, one of those with an FM, AM in the middle. Yeah, that's the calendar system. Last time I checked the initials of the one calendar system that I have as like some kind of cell. It looks like a jail cell because there's nothing on my calendar, but yet these money-making whatever keep happening. So now I'm watching it. He also looks very much like this artist that I've seen who has ties to China named Weiwei. Wei. And I don't know what this gentleman calls himself, but the other gentleman says he's from China. I saw him a small piece on something. I think actually in hindsight, retrospect, one of the last field trips my son went on was to some museum, and I was one of the parents that went with my son and walked through the gallery. I was totally mystified by some of the work. It was the geometrical shapes and the way he used like almost rice paper. It was fascinating. But anyway, so that happened. So anyway, so this actor, Ben something or other, tells the story of like how Doctor Strange has taken a whatever and now he's inherited like this district thing, and I'm going, oh, that's a problem. Tell you right now, that is a major problem at War Theater with what I got going on with the cannons being turned on and some kind of sonic radar that like was pushed against me in like the field, and I don't even have a bodyguard or a representative that I can explain things to. And the Mr. Green and Mr. Blue from the Incredible Hulk movie within the same house knew about it. So they're assigning district leaders, and I know the real guy, and it's not Wei Wei, and it's not Ben. I refer to him as TL. Whatever. I know who my Meadow reps are, and who was nice to me, who came, who saw me, spent a little bit of time with me. I gave my resume to, because I really need work, and actually what I really need is my over 6 foot, whatever, but things being what they are on shortages. So I know that they know who I am. I know that they sent a representative into the area, and I know that I gave them my resume just to tell them I'm back here. This is where I landed. Because there's other things that go through the system of Mr. Green and Mr. Blue that they know just how dangerous leaving me in this apartment is. So now it steps up to Call of Duty and Modern Warfare. Because how could you willingly leave me here like this? And that's to my team. What obstacle could they not get past? And I know what that means. It's one of those things, if I'm speaking to Thor directly from Marvel, but in one of his other classic roles of, I don't know who the studio was that hired you for MIB, the last one, out of the Smythe the Will category, but the newer versions, the one that actually pertains to where I am in this whatever, he also had a thing where he went home with somebody and then this was all over his chest, but he and I, wasn't me, so I don't know, but again, in certain circles this makes sense, and it's got one eye, right, yep. So how did they get that approved in special effects and CGI? Right, must be that Invesco QQQ thing.
Was an intense octopus battle. It was just a taste.
I kind of just have this feeling that at the same time TL shows up, JC shows up, and I got a lay of the land like no effing other in real blunders by management. So without dishonoring anybody or telling the real life like quirky story, and oh, she's so charming. Yeah, I bet she is. She looks like a dead fish. So anyway, here we are.
So the action you're going to see in the newest Marvel film, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
One of the stars that you just saw there is now here in studio. Tell us all about it. Everybody bring him on.
Because it's like in certain jurisdiction, I really don't want to put the challenge out there, like how far will they go to ruin people's reputations and try to dishonor one another to get themselves to like these higher district and management, congressional and Senate seats and like all this shit that people dream of that I couldn't care two shits less about. Like, how far do they go? Yeah, it's been really pathetic.
On out, say hello. There he is, Benedict Wong. Come on out, sir. Man, it is good to have. Did I hear you just yell out that was your last day of shooting?
Yes, no, my last agent.
Last agent.
Welcome. Man, congrats on this movie. It is getting rave reviews. People love it. You've been in a number of movies. Did you know when you first signed on to be Wong that he was going to play such a role in this whole Marvel universe?
No, I didn't. It's 6 years ago, and yeah, he's gone to, we checked the old source material. It's quite a servile character.
Source materials or the sorcery materials between wizards and warlocks? I'm just curious because 2015, I already told Mark or JMG. What was he going by? I don't think he had a name. He just didn't have a name. He just had arms and I had on, I think, a Cape May sweatshirt and I was just so happy to be home. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I got here, but I don't ever want to leave. I was like, please don't make me go back. Please don't make me go back. Please don't make me go back. And he's like, well, no, I have to talk to you about these. There's 2 things on paper. I go, what's on paper? He goes, and he went over, he says, I have 2 dates. He says, 1, I'm fine. He says, 1, I think I worked out. He's like, the second one's causing a big problem. I go, what's the second one? What do you mean I have a second one? I was like, I don't want a second one. And he's like, no, but somebody said it's already been filed. I go, filed where? Filed how? He goes, filed by you in the state. I go, no. I was like, when is it going to happen? He says, I don't know. He says, it might have already happened. I said, well, did it or didn't it? He says, in where we are, I can't tell. I was like, well, if it didn't happen, make sure it doesn't happen. I don't want to go through with it. I was like, it's a big mistake. There is nothing there that I want, and I don't want anything to do with whatever's going on there. And he said, I was hoping that was what you would say in your own words. He says, but I don't know that I could take. He says, I have to see what I can do. He says, I need you to come with me. I said, great. All right, whatever we need to do. And lo and behold, the stupid date went off without a hitch. And so 5/15/15 happened. Although we already processed it that I didn't want it processed, but something's going on in multiplex in really strange stories to tell in actuality.
Character, but thankfully we've revamped it and changed it into the no nonsense midfield general librarian, and
And I almost equate it out to like, all right, so I have a really special position in cosmic territory and cosmic nursery and cosmic positioning, for whatever reason that means. I got an uncle somewhere that I only met once, introduced himself, said that Melissa and I shared an uncle, that he wasn't sure how much time he'd be able to spend with me, but I was there for that one visit, which was to pick up her Honda Civic in the local Toms River area, whatever that was about. And she had a really handsome cousin. That's all I remember. So that happened. And so I have this really weird whatever where everything could have gone perfectly, but it didn't. And I equate it out to be like the movie The Princess Bride. There's some truth and thread of reality within that movie. Almost like it's a book. Somebody wrote the book. Got it. But who's writing the book to hurt me and make sure that I wind up here? Why isn't somebody writing the book so I get to be with whom I belong? Like she and he inside the movie. And I don't need that movie. That's just an example of what could be. And it slightly runs along the same parallel of kind of what may have transpired. Again, characters being whatever they are. And however it works between the movies and running lines of reality and trying to fix certain areas.
I shot Doctor Strange, and then when we did some reshoots, Kevin Feige went, you're going to be in the Avengers, so it's just like,
wow.
It's quite a shock, so I just keep saying yes, and 6 or 7 movies, I'm here.
It's working out pretty well for you.
It's great.
The internet is abuzz about Wong, the character, that there's some big things in terms of the storyline in this movie. Can you give us a hint of what's going to be happening with Wong?
Yeah, well, he's got a promotion now after 6 years, and yeah, it did. You know, you go from fries, and then now you're area manager. So you know, he's now the no-nonsense sorcerer supreme, and with that, you know.
No nonsense sorcerer supreme. Wow, I wonder who in a different parallel paradox got that promotion while I was forced to go through a second New York State paperwork blunder to things that I really could care two shits less about.
You know, there's a sort of greater responsibility, and you know, it's quite the sort of odd couple with Doctor Strange. You know, Wong being the wiser one, and Strange being the wayward one. So he's there to sort of rein him in.
And we were just talking backstage. You've done so many, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite at this point, or, you know, are they all different? Is it like a child? They're all important, but
Yeah, yes, it is like a joke. Yeah, I look, I'm sort of like a big nerd that collected all these Spider-Man comics, and now I'm the nerd that's crossed over the line. You know, just feeling like a
Interesting choice of words. Crossed over the line.
competition winner. So you know, it's just all the moments I've really loved. Mainly to sort of Infinity War, where it was kind of like 300 odd extras and mayhem, but it was great.
These movies are so wildly successful all over the world. How has your life changed sometimes just in walking down the street, the experience, how people are reacting to you? What is it like out there for you?
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming at times, you know. I mean, but it's the fans have been really gracious, and it's you know, there's a real sort of love for the comics, and just understanding how far-reaching it is, and you know, I'm glad to be in something that you know I'm proud of, and people, the fans really enjoy.
well, I know a lot of theater companies are hoping that this is going to drive people back into the theaters in large groups, because this is something you got to see on the big screen.
Definitely, you know, it's amazing. You know, it's kind of, we've got the wonderful Sam Raimi, who is a master in 2 genres of horror and the Spider-Man films, and he's so sort of bespoke suited for him to helm this. Yeah.
I just love that poster. I think you should have that framed in your home. You know, just maybe even a little bigger.
Yeah, at the front door.
Yeah, I would.
I'll change it
I
from
would,
the
yep.
Beware of the Dog. Yeah.
Benedict Wong, thank you so much for being with us.
so
We
much.
appreciate it. Lovely having you in studio. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is now in theaters.
And that's what you need to know for this week here on GMA3, folks. Programming note for you, 2020 tonight, incredible developments in a 2 decades old unsolved murder case.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I can only say that at the back end of that octopus moment, I know the real life story of what it pertains to or could pertain to. I'm just not sure the eyeball at the other end who keeps using it to, like, I don't know, push up on an old white man trying to do his work in the White House. I'm not quite sure how his, like, sidekick that he got on some ticket, I don't know what meal ticket plan they're doing, but it's unacceptable. It just is. In order for them to get wherever they were, they've hurt a lot of good people along the way. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.